Okay, this session is being recorded. I will get started already. I have muted everybody on the call. I believe everyone can still hear me. Okay, let's get started. So, like I said, my name is Moses. I am your account manager for Euromonitor International. And I will be the one who will be doing the training session for today. Let me know if there are any questions along the way. Thank you for confirming that you can hear. Just either, if you have any questions, simply just unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat. Either way, it is fine. All right. I believe everyone can see the PowerPoint presentation. Can you able to confirm that? Okay, perfect. As I'm using just one screen, it can be a little tricky at times, but I will get hit. Let's see. Admit. Okay. From the beginning. Okay. So this is the agenda for today. I will be going into a presentation of the company. And then after that, I will jump into Password itself. Feel free, I'm going to turn off my camera because of latency purposes. Sometimes it works slightly better without the camera on. All right. But at the end of the session, of course, I'll still be turning on my camera. All right. So let's go ahead. Okay. So for today's demo, we are gonna divide it up into the few different points that you see on the screen. We will talk about the help center. That's for that's for people who are still kind of like new to Passport. And I'll just run through briefly on what the help center consists of. Of course, I'll also talk about Passport itself and and of course, it's also recommended to set up an account, which I believe everyone has. And then we'll talk about doing keyword searches, which are really the most recommended way. And of course, Passport AI. Okay. So let me continue to admit some more people. I think there are still some other people that are continuing, they're coming in still. Okay. All right. Okay, so what is Euromonitor International? Well, I will use the acronyms EMI. It's a lot quicker and easier. We are the world's leading provider for global business intelligence for market analysis and consumer insights. So what you see on the right side are just some of the key points that we do to help our clients make informed decisions. So of course we have 1,000+ analysts in 100 countries. Yeah. So moving on. This is just a continuation of previous slide. This is some of our expertise that we do on consumer trends and lifestyles. Of course, we do focus quite a bit on companies and brands, production and supply chains, economies and forecasting, and also we actually also have online pricing data. Euromonitor International, like I said, it's actually a 52-year-old company. So if you were to look at it on the world map, it is going to look like this. All right. So we have 16 offices around the world, and we have demographic, macro, and social economy data on 210 countries and territories combined. All right. What are the solutions for EMI? Mainly, they are divided into 3 groups. All right. So, of course, what I will be presenting today on, or for our training, will be Passport, which you see on the left of your screen. We also have another solution called VIA, which is also another platform. So VIA itself is actually a database that houses information on SKUs. So I will talk about that in a little bit. And of course, we also have consulting, where we do a lot of it can be either one-off projects, or they can also be, these are some of the projects that we do for Samsung or for government entities, can also be done from year to year. Okay, so these are the 100 countries that we have our on-the-ground researchers. I'm not going to go through it. And of course, after this training session, this slide, the slide deck will be forwarded to Ms. Pla. So these are some of our research expertise that you can see. I think for the most part, TPSO subscribes to all of them. So Passport, what is it used for? What do we do? I'm not going to really quite talk about Passport, because that's the platform that we're going to be doing our training on. Passport simply is the database that houses all our data and information on the research work that we do on the industries that we do our research on. All right, simply put. Now, consulting. What's consulting? Consulting, as the name implies, is simply projects that really cannot quite be answered by Passport. So we do a lot of consulting work with commercial companies, with government entities, like for example, the World Bank. We do quite a bit of work with the World Bank, even in academic institutions, and of course for government institutions, we've also done a lot of projects ranging from trade and export to even travel. All right, so that's consulting. And what about VIA? So VIA, like I said, is a product that's also another database that has information on millions and millions of SKUs. All right, so we extract and organize e-commerce data on more than 1,500 online retailers in around 41 countries, and the data is extracted. It's updated daily, weekly, and monthly. So all this information is captured, and what it does is that we it's on the platform, and you can of course organize them in different categories, and of course you can do your searches you can organize the searches by even using keywords like sugar, caffeine, and so on and so forth. So when you have all these millions of SKUs that are tracked, you'll be able to see information on these SKU numbers, and that's where the user can actually use all this information to do new product launches, to do promotions, and even look at the prices of which their competition. Okay, so this is what VIA does. Let me admit the rest in, and then I will continue. Okay, so continue on. Of course, our corporate responsibility, we do our part in making a difference in the world. Not going to really quite talk about that. Of course, this is all corporate companies have their CSR programs, and of course we're included in that. Okay, why us? I don't think I really need to talk about us too much, simply because we're a 52-year-old company with proven methodology, and our research is really good quality, and we do have a lot of customers, corporate customers, from Unilever to Samsung to academic institutions, NUS, NTU in Singapore, Chulalongkorn in Thailand. Even in Vietnam, we have the British University, BUV, it's called. They're all our customers. And of course, in the Philippines, we have DLSU Manila, Ateneo, and the list goes on and on and on. Right? So with that, I will jump right into Passport. I don't think there are any questions. And if there are, let me know. If not, I'm going to be jumping into Passport already. All right. Let me reshare Passport. Okay, please let me know when you can see Passport on your screen. I take it as a yes that you can see Passport. Okay, thank you. I saw the chat. Okay, so this is the main landing page of Passport. What you see over here is the subscription page, all right, for DITP or TPSO. I do have my own demo account Passport page, but it looks slightly different and there are more features. So just to not confuse everybody, I will be using your subscription page, okay? So this is the main landing page of Passport. Passport itself is simple and easy to navigate. Passport is actually really, you can say, it's actually divided into 3 parts. All right, you have statistics, which are all our data sets. You have analysis, which are all the reports, all the country reports, the company reports, and of course you have the dashboards. All right, I will go through all 3 parts of it, but first of all, I would need to touch on the Help Center over here, which is right at the top. So if you are a new user and you don't know your way around Passport, the Help Center is a good place to get started. So, of course, on the main landing page of Passport, we have all the the UI has changed quite a bit from before. So the UI team on the backend team has made it. We keep reinventing and we keep upgrading Passport's UI page to make it more simple, but also more effective. And this is through feedback from users and also from our internal users. Meaning people from the company itself. All right. So I think I'll touch on the Help Center first. So if you're new to Passport, you want to try to navigate your way around or try to know a little bit more about Passport, click on the Help Center. So the Help Center will have information on, you can do a search over here, but mainly the Help Center is where you come to look for, let's say, I'll touch on the glossary of terms first. So, of course, in our research, we have our glossary of terms, right? And this is, apart from the very top over here, fixed rate and year-on-year exchange rates, everything is from A to Z. So what is the definition? What is the definition of absolute growth? It is all listed. All right, annualized growth. It's all in here. Apparent consumption. Everything. All right. From even just a billion to all the way down, growth index. What is this is all explained. Okay. Now, for definitions, this is quite important because if you were to be doing research, for example, beer, okay, under the beer industry or the beer module, you'll be looking at beer and you'll be wondering, okay, what does beer, what's our definition, all right, of beer? And here it is. All right, alcoholic drink, usually brewed from malt, sugar, hops, and water, and fermented with yeast. And it goes on and on and on. All right. So what is the definition? Definition: dark beer. You have it all also. All right. And ale, sorghum, wheat beer, Weizen, lager, and on and on and on. So on the left, you will be able to see that these are all the different modules, right? Alcoholic drinks, apparel, and footwear. This is all arranged once again alphabetically. So if you're looking for definitions on, let's say you are doing your research and you'd like to know what is the definition, maybe in eyewear, there you go. Contact lenses. All right, so the list goes down, pretty extensive. I will not go through all of it because we have limited time, but definitions are here. Now, if you had some questions on Passport itself, it may not be a bad place to look for. All right. Once again, it is arranged from A down to Z in the different modules. So, for example, I checked TPSO's usage earlier, and I think the top 4 industries that the users for this year have been doing their research on health and wellness and consumer health. I think these are the top 2. Pet care was also very, very high, and also retailing. Okay, so let's look at consumer health over here. So if you had some questions, you might be able to find your answers in consumer health. Okay, so this is how it works. And these are some of the very frequently asked questions. Okay, like for example, does weight management and well-being include meal plans? It's all in here. I'm not going to really go into it. Once again, you can look it up yourself. And of course, methodologies, right? The methodologies are in there. Not going to really get into it. If you have time, please go through it. If you're wondering how our methodologies are, I'd like to touch on the update scheduler. This is quite important because this is where the major updates will be done. All right. So, for example, we are in July already for beverage packaging. The next major update will be coming, which is this month. Now, all updates are usually, the system, when all the new information and data and everything are uploaded, usually late in the month. Okay? Usually. So for this month, July 2025, beverage packaging will be, there'll be an update on it. Okay. So this is where you go to look for, just in case if you're doing some work and there could be an update coming, so you can pay attention to that. So this is the help center over here. All right. Let me get back into it again. Now, if you're a new user and you need help on trying to navigate Passport, click on the help guide and videos. This is where it's really, really important, because the help guide will have short videos on how to navigate Passport. We also have a user guide. I'm not going to click on it because it's really, really long, but it just goes into every point that you see on Passport. This can be downloaded, and of course, the library can download it and post it somewhere, all right, in the internet. But what I'm interested in showing is, for example, you're working on, let's say, dashboards. There you go. So there are short videos that teaches you of dashboards, that teaches you about working with statistics. These are all in here, all right? The search page, navigating your way around Passport. All these short videos will help you if you really need to, or you're just wondering how to really navigate Passport. But like I said, Passport is really quite simple. So there shouldn't be a lot of issues trying to navigate Passport. So that's the help center over there. All right, please do take note. It is quite useful and is on the top right-hand corner over here, where if you click on it, a new browser window pops up and you might be able to find the answers that you're looking for. Now back to the main landing page of Passport itself, okay? So the main landing page, as you can see, we have, it's arranged in such a way that if you click on industries, out comes the pop-up for appliances and electronics, all right, which of course you have the sub industries or the modules of consumer appliances, consumer electronics, toys and games. Under drinks, you have alcoholic drinks, hot drinks, soft drinks. Under food and nutrition, you have cooking ingredients and meals, dairy products, fresh food, health and wellness, snacks and staple foods. Nutrition is not included in your subscription, therefore you can see it's grayed out. Under health and beauty, you have beauty and personal care, consumer health, eyewear, tissue and hygiene, home products, pet care, home and garden, luxury and fashion. All right. Nicotine and cannabis. Cannabis, of course, you're not subscribed to. You have tobacco. Under services, you have consumer food service, payments and lending, of course, travel. And under B2B, you have ingredients and packaging. All right. I don't think there's, for channels, you have retail or retailing. This is one of the I think it's the fourth most searched module, right, for this year. And of course, under companies, if you were to click on it, you can actually find information on companies, but this can be a little limited because, for example, we track companies by brand shares or market share. So if you were trying to do a little bit of research on like a small SME company in, let's say, Thailand, you may not be able to find information on it. But if we're talking about the big companies that dominate, so for example, Nike, right? They are the giants in apparel and footwear, should be able to find information on Nike itself. All right. Under products, these are our new modules, innovation and sustainability. Of course, it's not available to TPSO unless you subscribe to it. I'm not going to talk about it too much. But under consumers, you have households, income and expenditure, lifestyles and population. And under economies, you have business dynamics and economy, finance, and trade. Now, that's a lot of information and data sets that you subscribe to. Okay, so how do we do a search, an effective search? Basically, there are a couple of ways that we can go about doing it, right? We use, I mean, the usual way is that if we want to look at appliances, all right? More so, or more, usually and not, probably if you're a new user, you will click on, right, industries. You get under appliances and electronics, and you click on consumer appliances. Now that in itself will take you to the consumer appliances page, right? Whereby you'll be able to look at the latest reports on consumer appliances or whatever that is associated with it. And from there on, you can also navigate your way around. You can look at the dashboards, you can look at the forecast model. But how do I really try to do an effective search? Is I actually would just click on the box itself, all right, under search. I will talk about Passport AI in a bit. So if you were to just key in keywords, for example, appliances Thailand, you'll be able to look at the stats. So remember, probably just 10, 15 minutes ago, I mentioned that Passport itself is divided into statistics, appliances, and dashboards. So there you go, right? 3 parts of it. Now, doing an effective search or want it to be quick and easy, you type in keywords. If your keyword, if there's a hit, all right, and in your keyword, then there you go. So I've typed in appliances Thailand. You'll be able to see appliances and electronics specialists in Thailand. This is the country report. Small cooking appliances in Thailand, home laundry appliances in Thailand. And of course, you can look at statistics. So whatever that you want to look at, you simply click on it. All right. Of course, you can look at view all results. So this is one way to do an effective search. Though the way that I like to do it is to look at the full taxonomy. We call it the full tree or the taxonomy tree. Let me take you guys back again. Once again, the taxonomy tree is on the left over here, where it says explore categories. Simply go down to the scroll bar, click on anything, just click on industries and hit go. All right. Now, this is the taxonomy tree or what we call the full tree. The full tree is simply all the different industries. They are listed, to put together vertically. So for example, consumer appliances, if you were to click on the plus sign, it will show the breakdown, right? What constitutes as consumer appliances in EMI? What we put it into major appliances and small appliances. So if you were to click on it, you will be able to see under small appliances, right? All the different types of appliances. All right. So this is all arranged vertically, correct? Under economies, under consumer, under chat. Okay. So what if, and so the way that I like to do it is I actually put in a keyword. Gini index may not be a very good example. Just coffee, for example. Okay. So if I were to key in a keyword, there are a couple of choices over here. All right. Click on it if you want, but the best way of doing an effective keyword search is to just put in the keyword and hit enter. And there you go. So whatever that has the word coffee in your subscription, you'll be able to see. So let's say you're doing a bit of research on coffee itself, correct? You'll be able to select coffee, hot drinks, all right? And then you'll be able to even see what are the exports for coffee, or what are the imports, how much consumers spend on coffee, all right, and consumer price index. So it is really a very well-rounded picture. And of course, one can also, so all you need to do is just select whatever you want, right? The check boxes over here on the right side, you can also click on it. I think if you click on it, it will select everything, right? Of course, if you are wondering about the definition, click on the little exclamation point. I think there you go. You'll be able to see the exact definition of, in this case, I think it is exports. Okay. Now, once you're satisfied with whatever that you want to do, we of course go and select the countries. Okay. Do not click world, obviously. Expand Asia Pacific. These are all the Asia Pacific countries, all right, that we have. Thailand. I'm in Singapore. And whatever else that is, Australasia, maybe Australia, okay? Once you're satisfied with it, click on View Results. And out pops the results of your search. Of course, once again, I talked about stats, I talked about analysis, and I talked about dashboards. Okay, so there you go. These are all the reports that are in there that is associated with a search. Now, I'm going to jump into stats first, okay? So we look at the full data set. Now, our data sets, by default, it is, I believe it's 2019 to 2024, okay? But that's not all there is, all right? The data sets run as far back as maybe 2009 or 2010, yeah. So what you need to do is simply change, right, the dates, and of course, go up to mostly 2029, and you hit apply. From there, we have all this information over here. These are all your hard stats. Okay, so I think for in this case, for Singapore and Thailand, hot drinks for coffee. All right, this is all in there. And of course, well, I'll talk a little bit more about the different stats types, but as a user, of course, you can download all these stats into Excel, CSV, maybe even PowerPoint, but I'm not too sure if there's a lot of use for PowerPoint for stats. I would imagine that you download into CSV or Excel and you massage the data from there. Of course, you can also create a link, right, to share with other users also. It is possible. Let me get back to the session. Okay. So of course you can print, right? Now, what else can we do? We can also look at the different stats types. On the left over here, you have all the different smaller icons like company shares, brand shares. It's a little too small, a little difficult to pinpoint with the mouse. So under change stats type, you can look at, that's all on the left over here. So we can look at it. So for example, we want to look at brand shares. There you go. So we can look at all the different major brand names with their shares, and of course the parent company's name and how much share they have in hot drinks in Singapore. We look at really long for coffee. It is on here, and of course, once again, this is all downloadable. Okay, and I also like to talk about so the stats types. Okay, there's actually quite a bit. All right, you can look at company shares, you can look at brand shares, you can look at the different retail channels. You can also look at the products by ingredients. All right, market sizes related. I think you can also look at it. I'm not very familiar with it, so I'm not going to really go into that. But all these are all available to you, and of course, we can also look at the stats type. All right, so on the left over here, once again, I am not a researcher, so of course some of these terms they're not like very familiar to me. But if you're doing research, you're a data scientist, these are things that will be very applicable. So under convert data, you can convert the data right into actuals, into ranking, exchange rate types, local or fixed exchange rates. You can look at volume also. This is all available to change. All right, you can look at the data types. All right, you can change it to retail off-trade RTD volume, retail off-trade value RSV excluding powder, I believe. This can all be changed. And of course, there you go. The group sum will not work unless the data is all uniform. So there is a tutorial on the group sum in the help guide and videos. So if you're not too familiar with it, I'm not super familiar with it, you can refer to that. But in the interest of time, this is statistics. All right. Once again, this is all downloadable. The data is all in there. It is, it is something that is potentially very powerful. It's really up to the user to download it and to massage it to gain insights on it. All right. Of course, not everyone is really, really good at it. So Passport AI kind of helps. I will get into that. Okay. Of course, one can also look at the definitions also. If you click on it, all right, there you go. Right, the current definition, this is all in there. All right. So back to Passport. So this is statistics. Okay. Now, what about, I will maybe jump into Passport AI because that will link us to our analysis also. So the newest thing for Passport obviously is Passport AI. All companies, AI is just the latest and hottest thing in the world right now. Everything is AI. Of course, we have also included AI in our Passport. Okay, so what Passport AI does is it helps make our searches more. You can say they're very efficient, and it makes information more discoverable. All right, so if you need to use Passport AI, it is over here. Just simply click on it, and you'll be able to ask questions. All right. So some of the to help you start exploring, these are some of the popular prompts or searches that people have been typing in. But like I said, I looked at TPSO's usage earlier, and I think consumer health and health and wellness is the top two most searched modules for this year, right? From January up to June. So let me type a question in there. I actually did a few searches earlier. So you can type, okay, what are the latest trends in something like this. All right, let's see if anything comes up. There you go. So with the prompt, out comes all my answers. So I would like to know what are the latest trends in health and wellness in Thailand. All right. So all these this is all information that is housed in Passport. Okay. So one thing I would like to point out is that Passport AI, the prompts and answers and everything else is all the information is part of Passport. Okay. Of course, this is not ChatGPT, so there are limitations. Of course, when using Passport AI, you can also click on the bottom over here to find out more about how Passport AI works and its limitations. But I did do a search, right? What are the latest trends in health and wellness in Thailand? You can see that it has pulled out all this information from popularity of plant-based diets to mental health awareness, technology and health monitoring, consumer education and nutrition. All right, focus on preventive health. This is all in there. And on the right side, you'll be able to look at the different sources where it pulls all this information from. And these will be your country reports. In this case, no statistics that I found, but I've done some searches in the past where we actually show information from stats. All right, so this is all in there, and of course, if you once you go down, you look at all the different answers. The system itself is pretty helpful. It will also put in related questions. What are Thai consumers prioritizing mental health and fitness? What role does technology play in health monitoring in Thailand? What dietary changes are being observed among Thai consumers? This is all in there. It is pretty helpful. Okay, so this is Passport AI in a nutshell. I did talk about analysis. So over here, if you were to click on the right and the consumer lifestyles in Thailand, we should be seeing the report. There you go. There. So this will be the report, all right, for consumer lifestyles in Thailand. And you'll be able to go through it. Once again, you can download it, you can print it, you can create a link, and you can share it, save it to your content. All right. All users have an account, so you should have no issues doing it. And there you go. These will be the reports that has helped in the prompt in Passport AI. All right. So let me just show another quick example. Like I said, just probably like 30 minutes before we started, I did a little bit of a search. Right, retailing is also was a really high usage. So I did a quick search. All right. So my prompt was, what are the latest retailing trends in Thailand? There you go. Out comes all these results. Okay, and whatever that is associated, that Passport AI has pulled. All right, the results from is on here, and of course, there's also market data on it. It's also in. So if we click on it, it will take us to, right, the stats itself. All right. So that's Passport AI in a nutshell. This will make your searches quite, you can say efficient, but of course, the Passport AI itself has limitations, but it does help quite a bit, and it helps you actually discover even more data points and information, right? So, of course, the last thing that I want to talk about would be the dashboards. So maybe we can look at maybe lifestyles. Okay, so dashboards are, we can look at the consumer dashboards. All right. So like I said, Passport is divided into stats, analysis, and dashboards. Now, dashboards for all the different modules, they all have different dashboards. Some are the forecast dashboards. For, in this case, I clicked on lifestyles simply because under the lifestyles module, all right, we actually do have, we've actually conducted surveys, and as you know, surveys are quite a good place to look for information, and they're pretty expensive to conduct surveys. So, for example, by default, I guess this is dietary restrictions. But if you want to change the topic, okay, there are quite a bit of, let me enlarge it, of topics to choose from, right? from eating, drinking to health and ethical living, house and home, leisure and recreation, path to purchasing. To shopping, attitudes and motivation, habits, purchase factors, right? This is all in there. So we've done the surveys and everything. So what you really need to do is, all right, let's just get, I guess, eating habits, eating and snacking habits. We pick that and we hit apply. Let this run a little bit. There you go. Almost there. Okay. Wow, this is running. Okay. So we've actually conducted surveys. All right. I think it's around like 40 plus thousand surveys that we've sent out. The respondents coming in. So, for example, you can see all respondents globally. So, for example, I typically eat snacks at home. So we can look at Thailand. There. And you can look at the amount of respondents that have responded. All right. For, let's say, 2024, there were 1,047 respondents. And you can look at people's attitudes on snacking. All right. So snacking, I have to assume that in Thailand, it is quite a bit of people do snack in Thailand, but it seems like in 2024, the percentage has gone down slightly. Okay, so these are all you have all these topics over here that you can choose from, and this is part of your subscription under lifestyles. So that's in a nutshell. That's dashboards. All right. So we also have other dashboards. Also, for example, under alcoholic drinks. I'm a bit of a beer drinker myself. You can look at the forecast model, the price tracker. Not going to really talk too much about that, but you can look at the alcoholic drinks forecast model. There. Yeah. So we can look at the overview. All right. Of the forecast for alcoholic drinks. I believe you can also change to the countries itself. So I believe over here it's for Thailand. There you go. All right. Of course, you can also compare with our updates because the world is ever changing. Trump came on, and of course, you can look at our versus our baseline. All right, versus the January 2025 update on alcoholic, the forecast for alcoholic drinks. So this is dashboards. All right. So there you go. Every module has a different dashboard. So the dashboard itself can be, it's also something that's very, very useful. For example, if you're just doing work and you want to, you can actually just take a screenshot of it. You can download it. I think it's over here. You can export the image, right? You can also export into Excel. This all can be done. And this is dashboards. And of course, the last thing that I kind of want to talk about is Trump's policies. There's actually a dedicated banner to Trump's policies because it is something that affects everyone. including me, prices in Singapore, prices in Thailand, whatever it is. So click on the banner itself. It has everything and anything that has to do with Trump's policies. We've had quite a few of reports, of opinion pieces of reports on Trump's tariffs. Here you go. Right, adapting to uncertainty, the impact of U.S. consumer income expenditure, the business of uncertainty, impact of Trump's policies across industries, like the fashion industry and whatever. This is all in there. Okay, so with that, I think this I will call an end to the training session. Of course, as a user, you already set up your account. The platform itself, all right, once you log on, you will be able to see your recent searches. And of course, if you save any searches, it will be in here also. So I leave 5-10 minutes for any questions that I can perhaps try to answer. Any questions? Let me look at the chat. Halal. Okay, so I do see a question. Do you have halal market industry? Yes, we do. I believe we do. Let me get back into the past. Okay, let's try halal. I'm not really very sure what will come up. There you go, halal. 3 key trends of driving halal beauty's growth in Southeast Asia, maybe halal Thailand. I'm not too sure if that will be a hit. No? Okay, so maybe we get into Passport AI. Tell me about halal spelling, LAL, trends in the world. Spelled it slightly wrongly. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything. There you go. So Passport AI is able to tell me about halal. All right, halal beauty products. Of course, it's very big in Asia. I spent quite a bit of time in Indonesia, at the very northern tip of Indonesia, in Banda Aceh. So halal is very, very big over there, obviously. Halal tourism, halal food products, halal certification regulations. Of course, there will be related questions. What factors are driving halal beauty growth in Southeast Asia? Right? How is halal tourism developing in the Philippines? What is the demand for halal certified meat in the UAE? This is all in there. This is all part of your subscription. There you go. So, yeah, make use of it. Any other questions that I can help answer, perhaps? Okay. If you're too shy to ask, simply forward me your question, and I can try to get them answered. I'm pretty sure my email, everyone has it. It's moses.k, T-A-Y, that's my last name, at euromonitor.com. Totally. Yeah. But if there are no questions, I think we can end this session. I hope it was useful for you. I will be sending all the text in. Yes, I have let everyone in already. But this session is being recorded, so I will share it with you, Ms. Blah. No issues on that. And I will also share the deck. Macroeconomic data. Can I ask Macroeconomic data on what? Exchange rate. Okay, let's try. I'm not too sure. All right. So we do have exchange rates. I believe I saw it earlier. There you go. So this will be all in there. Like I said, if you type in the keyword exchange rate, you can see it over here, right? There you go. So you have the exchange rates, the stats for exchange rates against US dollar in Thailand, right? Of course, anything that's got to do with my search, you have economy, finance, and trade for Thailand itself. And well, there's even a webinar. This was in 2022, Emerging ASEAN, New Economic Era, Opportunities and Challenges. So yeah. Inflation. How about you type in inflation on your passport if you have it pulled up? What is it showing? Inflation. Is there any inflation? There you go. Inflation in Thailand. Okay. So this is all fairly easy. Like I said, typing in a keyword and the country would, in general, you should be able to get a hit and you'll be able to find all the information in there. And of course, you can also use Password AI to help you in the work that you're doing. It could even be more useful. Okay, so with that, are there any other questions that I can help everyone with? In general, Password AI is really something that's quite easy. It's a very simple, easy to use platform. Uh, of course, it has its limitations, but there's really a lot of information in there that is very, very useful for TPSO and the work that everyone does. Okay, I don't see anything else. Oh, okay. So regarding the data sets, can we customize the data we would like to export? For example, for instance, am I able to choose stats for sales of probably MC in market G? Yes, I believe it is possible for that. I think it is possible. But sometimes the data sets itself, once you download everything, can be quite big. But I guess if you're used to looking at Excel spreadsheets and all the data and everything, then it shouldn't be any problem.
โอเคthank you คุณ Moses and มีท่านใดมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมไหมครับ Okay the I see more question coming
Oh,
into the chat
which database does Password AI use? Our database, Password. from AK. Yep. It uses information from Passport. Sometimes Passport is just very, very, there's a lot of information on Passport that sometimes, no, not Google. Google is unverified. We got to remember that. You can say that's a limitation of Passport, but earlier I talked about it. Passport AI is not ChatGPT or I didn't use the word Google, I guess, but yeah.
ท่านใดมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมไหมครับ ถ้าหากไม่มีอาจจะขอรบกวนเวลาทุกท่านเพียงเท่านี้นะครับ ทุกท่านโอเคไหมครับผม Moses I think there are no more questions right now and I think if they have questions they will email you later.
Not a problem. I will try to answer them as much as I can. If I cannot, it will go to the relevant person.
Okay. Then we are going to end the session. Okay. On behalf of all of us, I would like to thank you very much, Mr. Moses, for your.
Thank you so much for taking the time. All
Yes.
62 of you. Thank you
I
so
would
much.
like to thank you for your valuable training session today. And for all participants, I would like to thank you to you all for taking the time to attend. ขอบคุณทุกท่านมากนะครับที่เข้ามาร่วมฟังในวันนี้นะครับสำหรับวิดีโอคลิปตรงนี้ก็เมื่อบันทึกแล้วก็เดี๋ยวก็จะทางสสนะครับก็จะดำเนินการส่งคลิปให้กับทุกท่านต่อไปนะครับผมวันนี้ขอบคุณทุกท่านมากนะครับ Thank you very much คุณ Moses.
Thank you so much. We will talk again at some point down the road. And of course, do reach out to me if you have any questions. All right? Here to help.
Great. We truly appreciate that.
No problem. I hope this was useful.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Pla.
ขอบคุณค่ะคุณโมเสส
ขอบคุณนะครับคุณ Moses. ขอบคุณทุกท่านมากครับ
ทุกท่านค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับคุณ Moses.
Thank you. Bye-bye.